Ndeba ya kelele mono. Ohoneze kelele mono. Anu me ku se konye shiri si azelo. O wanne no le ku. Gosmadon media ego ai, uruwe se go ai, o mo le ku. Comrade Mado Bochukwu. Tano bụ nkwọ. Nwere ekwu ka nkwọ tano mara anyị na mma. Eke amara anyị na mma, ori amara anyị na mma, afọ amara anyị na mma. Okwu nye ọma ka anyị na-ekwu, okwu udo ka anyị na-ekwu, okwu ọganiru ka anyị na-ekwu, okwu nye dị mma ka anyị na-ekwu. Tata ihe njiri bịa bụ Omenala Odinala. Mana ngala asubu Igbo la asukwa Oyibo. Today I bring you greetings. Today is Nkwo Market Day in Igbo land, Igbo culture. So I will make use of English language and Igbo language. I'm speaking on tradition and culture. Tradition and culture. The people without tradition and culture are lost people. They are people without roots. They are people without traces. Everyone's culture and tradition identifies who the person is, the roots of the forefathers of that person. Even the Bible made us to understand, because we saw in the Bible whenever the children of Israel are in a journey and they got to a place, Moses always tells them to build an altar and make it an ordinance for their children as a remembrance that this is what their God has done for them. Now, in Igbo culture and tradition, we have a tradition and culture which most people are not comfortable with, and which most people has boycotted because of the white man tradition from the Europe. The white men came to our land and brought their tradition and culture and make us Africa to see that their own tradition is superior than our own, that our own is evil, our own is devilish, our own is satanic, while their own is superior. Why? When you notice their own culture and tradition, you will see that they imitate us and they reformed it and they bring it and think it is the all and all. But when you look deep down, you will see that it's an imitation of the Igbo, the traditional method of worshiping their God. For instance, when you go to the Catholic Church, you see them, they mold Mary, they mold Jesus, they mold Joseph, and they mold other people, and they call them saints. Now, in Igbo culture, Igbo always have their deities, their ancestors, their forefathers molded in a form of to recognize and to pass a message. But the white people sees our own way of doing as satanic, and demonic, why their own is ultimate. Now tell me, what is the difference? You go to the Catholic Church, you see them bowing down to molded image of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus Christ, and they burn incense. Incense simply means an instrument that calls the spirit. They burn incense even in the church, and we are very happy to associate and to inhale the incense burning in the church. But when a traditional person burns incense, it will look like this one is devil, this one is an occultic man, this one is Satan's incarnate. Now tell me, what is the difference? Even Africa and tradition culture is the best, and it gives peace of mind. When you practice it, you see the manifestation, you see the results coming instantly, because tradition and culture forbids wrongdoings. It forbids evil. It forbids abomination. It forbids all manners of atrocities, barbaric acts. But when you go to the church, you see that all the whole evildoers, that is where they all are, deceiving the gullible people, deceiving the public. You see them being Christian fathers, Christian mothers, knights, send this, send that, send everything, deceiving the gullibles, deceiving the poor masses. But in tradition, you cannot be practicing tradition and you're doing evil. For example, when you're serving an oracle, when you are serving a deities, and you wrong against the deities, the penalty is instant death. Instant death. Is either the deity strikes you immediately or he takes you gradually. That is why I said that traditional worship supersedes all other worship. For example, our ancestors are our saints and not the biblical ancestors, because the biblical ancestors has their roots. They know their people. They are of the same flesh and blood. But our ancestors knows us because they live within us, because they live around us, and because they are with us always. They hear whatever we say, whatever we command, they hear us. So for you calling God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abraham is father of somebody somewhere. Isaac is the father of somebody somewhere. Jacob is the father of somebody somewhere. You, who is your father? All these are what the Christianity, the white men used to subdue us and to take us away from our roots. As I started earlier on, I said that a people without tradition and culture are people lost in the history. What history will you tell your children? Who will you tell your children that are your ancestors? Calling from the 7th father, 6th father, 5th father, 4th father, 3rd father, 2nd father, and yourself. Like in Igbo market days, we have a Ken Ori Afo Unko. You pray, you call other people's ancestors, you say, pray for me. From January to December, you're praying the same prayer without evidence, without anything to show. But try to do libation. Call your ancestors, call your forefathers. Pick up hot drink, pick up kola nut, pick up nzu and the edo, pick up spiritual things and call them and see the difference, because they hear you and they are waiting for you. In Igbo land today, we have destroyed all what makes us unique, all what identifies us from others in the name of white religion. The spirits are all over hovering around without an abode, without a place to call their own, because their people has forsaken them, they have abandoned them, and they are building skyscrapers, churches for white man religion, for white man culture, for what they don't know the root, for what they don't know how it started, for what was brought to them, whereas leaving the spirit of their fathers to be hovering around. Now tell me, why will the spirit of their fathers not be angry with them? Why will the spirit of the ancestors not be angry with them? I was giving this message to come live on air today and preach it, that whosoever have ear, let him hear, but who don't have ear, let him keep to his ways. Most of the things happening in Imo State today, Southeast, Nigeria at large, is because of we have forsaken our ways. We followed the ways of other people, and those people we are following their ways are not even ready to help us. Instead, they are subduing us, suppressing us, taking us as slaves. Now you can imagine, in Nigeria today, $1 is heading to 2,000. $1 is at 1,100 naira or thereabout. Now tell me, what is the benefit of the religion and culture? I'm not against religion and culture. Everyone is free to practice what he or she believes in. But what I'm saying is, for those people that have ears, let them hear. Let them hear and follow the ways of their fathers, the way of tradition and culture, because tradition and culture is not the way the white men made us to see it evil. It's never evil, but it's our way of life, it's our way of identity, is our way of identifying ourselves in the midst of all. When you go outside and you say your name, as my name now is Ogoshuku, anywhere I go and I call my name Ogoshuku, everybody will know that this is the root that this person is from. But when I go and say Gabriel, they will say, Gabriel, where are you? Yoruba? Are you Hausa? Are you Igbo? Nobody can be able to identify you easily. But when you call your native name, it's obvious that you're from Igbo, and your root will be traced instantly. So I'm using this opportunity, this medium, to call everyone together to know the mystery in culture and tradition, and to awaken us and to enlighten us to know that culture and tradition is never evil. There is difference between culture and tradition, and there is difference from someone who does juju to wicked somebody. Even somebody that goes to church or go to mosque also does juju. But tradition is just natural, it's practical, it's as simple as any other thing. So I have come this morning from the leading of the Chupokika Biamai, from the message that the spirit that is always within me, my sheep, because I have my sheep. The Christians call sheep as guardian angel. Your she is that inner being in you that reincarnates with you, that is always with you, that always speaks with you peacefully, that always tells you what to do, good or bad. That is your she. You reincarnate with your she. You came to this world with your she, but many people don't understand the doings. Many people don't understand all this. When a force is speaking to them, they see it as evil force. But it is now left for you to design and to understand what that she is talking to you. And at the long run, you will see that everything he is saying to you is reality, and everything he is saying to you will always come to pass. So my people, tradition and culture is real. Tradition and culture identifies us and tells us who we are, tells us our roots, tells us our tribe, tells us our identity. It's real. Just try and see it. When you're praying, just try and call the name of your ancestors. Like me now, since I learned it, I have seen my life moving from glory to glory. I have seen different things. Now, whenever I want to pray, I will call the supreme God, that is Chukwokikabiamai. I will call the God of my land, which is Alimbidi. I will call the God of wherever I am. Then I will call my ancestors. I will start from Alimbidi. Then I will now move to Ezekiel. Then I will now move to Odinala. I will now move to Monoha. I will now move to Aguba. I will now move to Uzokaku. I will now move to Shimogu. I will now move to Madadi Biamma. I will now move to Ebereshuku, who is my father. And since then, I have seen difference. I have seen peace of mind in religion. I have seen progression. A people identity and culture defines who they are. You can't neglect your father, and at your own time you will want your children to reference you. No. The seed you sow is what you reap. I will stop here. Catch you in my next series. I remain your brother, your host, Comrade Madu Ogoshuku Gabriel, Olu West Eagle Eye, Cosmadon Eagle Eye. Remain blessed. Mechuko Kakabiamai. Our she, our ancestors, Eke Ori Afo Nkwo, always speaks good of us and bless us in all we do. He say.